Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to break down UFC Fight Night, Ian Garry versus Carlos Prates. Let's get right into it. First fight of the night, we got Chelsea Chandler, 6-3, taking on Jocelyn Edwards, 14-6. I think Jocelyn Edwards is the better fighter here. I mean, she's very long, rangy. She pitter patters her way into like awkward point fighting style wins, and that's kind of what I expect her to do here. I think the only way Chelsea Chandler can win this fight is if she takes her down early and often. I mean, it's possible. Jocelyn Edwards does not have the greatest takedown defense, that is for sure. But she just seems like she should be way ahead on the feet. So give me Jocelyn Edwards, most likely decision or some kind of over, but whatever. The pick is Jocelyn Edwards. What do you think?
For Chelsea Chandler's size, you'd think she has a little bit more power, but she doesn't. And she's really plodding. She's really slow. Does she really do anything well except for hold you up on the side of the cage? I don't think so. Edwards, better technical striker, quicker. Yeah, she gets stuck on her back, but lately she's actually looked pretty good at stopping those takedowns. I mean, only Eileen Perez, who's a very good wrestler, has really owned her in the last 3 or 4 fights. So, yeah, man, she's the better fighter. She's a more well-rounded fighter. And aside from Chelsea Chandler falling on top of her for two fucking rounds, that's the only way I think she loses this fight. I mean, I don't love minus 275 for any woman, but I think there's a big skill discrepancy here.
All right, next fight of the night, we got Timmy Cuamba, 8-3, taking on Roberto Romero, 8-4-1. I think this is a volatile fight. I wouldn't be too confident in either, and I wouldn't be betting. It's not a fight I'd be betting, to be honest. There's just better spots. The pick's going to be Roberto Romero just because, it was kind of impressive the way he dropped David Onama. I mean, that's, I guess, in itself better than anything Timmy's really done. But it's also just taking a glimpse of something and saying, well, if he did that, then he's a better fighter. But like, we don't know. Like, everyone can strike lightning once or whatever. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't put too much stock into it. I'll still say it's better than anything I've seen from Timmy, but it's just not a confident pick. The pick is Roberto Romero. I'm not betting it. What do you think?
It's a pick 'em, so it's real tight, right? Romero looked really good against Onama. I think he actually took that round one off of him, and threw a good amount of volume. But he did slow down, and let's understand that he took that fight on a week's notice as well, right? Timmy Kwamba though, like he's okay. What's his best attribute though? It's his durability and his toughness. There's not really much else to it. He's an okay striker, but I think he lunges in too much. And I think he's going to be a step behind on the volume here. He didn't get finished by Balaji Oki. He didn't get finished by Lucas Almeida. And he was seriously losing both of those fights. So, and the Balaji Oki fight, it was a split decision. So it's not like this guy's a fish out of water. I just think he's going to be a step behind in all the striking. And if Romero looks that good on a week's notice, I'm going to imagine the volume is going to be a little bit better than 74 strikes thrown, because he kind of slowed down after that first round. And so I think Romero is just going to win a volume striking match. They're both durable. They're both dogs. I don't see anybody getting finished here. So yeah, give me Romero as well. Leaning slightly. It's a pick 'em, so I might actually bet it just because it's a pick 'em, right? And I think there's a little bit of an edge.
All right, next fight of the night, we got Jacqueline Amorim or Amorim, whatever, 9-1, taking on Polyana Viana, 13-7. See, like this one for me is a very confident bet. I mean, 9-1, Jacqueline is going to submit Polyana Viana. I think she's going to do it very easily. The only time she's ever looked bad at all is, her gas tank is very questionable, but she seems to have improved that. And she's just extremely dangerous. And Pollyanna Viana is not good. Jacqueline's gonna trip her, take her down however she wants. She's gonna pass to mount. Or she's gonna either armbar or choke her out. Whatever. I think she could literally play with her food here. I think this is a very easy pick, to be honest. Now I think she's sitting at like a minus 450. She's gonna grow way farther than that. But the play is submission. She is a finisher, and I fully expect her to finish this fight round one, round two. Like it won't make it to round three. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident too. It's minus 550 now. Don't get sucked in too much to the end. check the inside the distance versus the submission prop. It happened to me in that John Silva fight. If there's only like a $5-10 difference in the lines, you might as well go with the inside the distance because Amorim is the better striker here too. She's the more powerful striker here too. And if you look back at her record, she's dropped people with strikes as well. And Jillian Robertson, for all intents and purposes, was owning Polyana Viana on the ground and pitter pattered her way to a TKO victory when she could have probably tapped her out as well. So she's going to take her down. She's going to beat her up. She's going to beat her up standing. Polyana, even when she's on the ground, doesn't try to get up. She likes to play jits on her back. And yeah, she doesn't have the skills to win this fight.
Uh, Quick shout out. No one else is gonna know what this means, but to Castle Rock, he's in our betting group chat, and he's the one who actually pegged out that John Silva double method thing. He goes, guys, it's only 5 points more for
I got
this,
caught.
and we had John Silva by knockout, and he pointed it out, and he smashed a very big bet on it. So Castle Rock, I know you're probably watching. You definitely killed that one,
I
and
got caught.
A-Train, you're right. Look out for those for sure. Next fight of the night, Cameron Saaiman, 9-2 versus Malcolm Wellmaker, 8-0. This is another fight that feels very volatile. I can't see myself betting on this fight at all. Part of me wants to stab Cameron just because he's been in there so many times. Like he does have the experience at this level, but then like he's hit and miss. Some fights he looks really good. His volume can be pretty good sometimes, and then like sometimes he's just like a punching bag. Like he just took a pummeling in one of those fights. I forget who it was, but I
Hitting
watched him
Talbot.
get. Yeah, he got fucking smoked. So Malcolm Wellmaker definitely doesn't have the his opposition doesn't have the skill level of Cameron's, but I mean he appears to be a pretty good striker here. He seems to have power. He seems to be pretty precise. His volume's not the greatest from what I've seen, but again, we just can't. We don't know. We don't know based off the competition he's fought. Um, just because Talbot fucked Simon up that badly, I'm going to take the shot on Malcolm Wellmaker here as a pick, but I don't think I'll be betting it. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I looked at that Wellmaker. It was a well-timed hooker in the Dana White Contender Series that knocked that guy out. And his timing's good. His striking is precise. But I've watched some other fights of his, and the volume is a little bit lacking for sure. Like you brought that point up, and I've seen these guys come in from the Dana White Contender Series, and they fight these guys that have 3 or 4 fights. And yeah, he lost to Peyton Talbot. Yeah, he lost to Christian Rodriguez. But Peyton Talbot is very good, and Christian Rodriguez is very good. They're not the cream de la creme, but they're very good. And I don't think there's anyone in Malcolm Wellmaker's record that has tested him to the point that he got tested like that. Cameron Saaiman, I mean. So, I mean, the guys that he were beating is the guys that Cameron Saaiman should be beating, like Terrence Mitchell, Manny Martinez. I mean, those are the guys that he should be beating. And he did beat them. So I don't know about Wellmaker because I like to fade these guys coming off the Dana White Contender Series unless they're really touted. And yeah, he's good, but I don't think he was touted to be like a killer. Anyway, he could very well knock Simon around, but you got to remember that when Peyton Talbot knocked Simon around, he was outstriking him 79-21 or some shit, and it was like midway through the second round when that happened. I haven't seen Wellmaker throw that much volume, and I think this is going to be a volume striking match, and I'm going to go on a limb, and it's a pick 'em now. I'm picking Cameron Simon based on experience, and he's been in there with the better guys.
All right. Next fight of the night, we got Damon Blackshear, 16-7-1 versus Alatangheili, 17-9-2. I mean, I'm generally not as big on Blackshear as everybody else. I can't help but get the image of him being laid out stiff and out of my head, but he has kind of really come into his own. He's been a lot better lately. And I might look to fade him against someone who's like a heavy striker, like maybe someone who can, someone with like really good takedown defense who's a big striker, something like that. Maybe I'll be looking to fade him in a matchup like that. But Alatangheili will kind of welcome the grappling sometimes, and I don't know. I think Blackshear has him beat in that aspect. I don't think Blackshear is going to get KO'd here, so this is a fight that I think Blackshear should win. What do you think?
I think Haley is well-rounded, but he's not well-rounded in the same fights and all the time, right? The fights that he's well-rounded in the grappling, he strikes like an idiot. And the fights that he strikes, he can't take a guy down. So he's never been able to put everything together. And as much as Blackshear has his own red flags, he's been seeming to coming to his own, you know what I mean? He fought a little like, that Cody Gibson fight, he had a little bit of backlash from Cody Gibson in that first round. Downright almost lost, pretty much lost that first round. And he showed grit. He showed comeback ability. He showed all the stuff that you want to see in a guy that you want to bet on, right? And he showed well-roundedness, and he'll love a ground game here. He would love to take this to the ground because I think he owns Haley on the ground. I think if it stands up, I think it's a little bit better because Blackshear is not known to be the greatest striker, but he does pack a punch, right? So, I mean, I think he's beaten. I think he's got him on the ground, and I think he's the more well-rounded fighter. And man, if Haley could put things together all in one fight, he could be a menace here against Blackshear, but I think Blackshear has this one based on just abilities.
All right. Next fight of the night, we got Chris Gutierrez, 21-5-2 versus John Castaneda, 21-7. I mean, at first glance, when I first looked at this fight, I thought, oh, Chris is going to decision John Castaneda. John Castaneda is not that good. But the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of flipping. I feel like, I mean, I'm not looking at his age here. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like Chris has been around forever, and it doesn't seem like he's really improving at all. Like he's just kind of the same fighter he's always been. And like, I don't know, man. Like the leg kicks and the I don't know. First of all, I'm going to say this right away. I think this fight goes to decision 100%. Like I can't see either guy finishing the other. I think it's definitely an over, definitely a decision. But if Castaneda can land a couple takedowns, that's could be all it takes for him to steal a round or two and get him that nod. I think he is not the better striker because I don't think he's the better striker, but I think he'll be the one coming forward at least. And Chris is at his best when he can kind of stay at range and like I said, use those leg kicks and everything. And John is probably going to look to take some of that away. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I said, Chris just hasn't improved. He seems like the same fighter. Not big on John Castaneda at all either. But I feel like maybe just his pace can edge this one out. Maybe a takedown or two and just the volume can just squeak it out. Not a bet. Not betting the fight whatsoever. I'm gonna pick Castaneda by decision. What do you think?
Well, Gutierrez has been taken out twice in his last three fights, and it weren't even by like amazing wrestlers. It was Alatangheili, Song Yadong, and Quang Lee. So we're not talking about like top of the top guys. And so his grappling ability in the last few fights hasn't looked the same. And now, yeah, he does well in the range. He does well at the kick range. But I can't help but say that John Castaneda might be actually a better boxer than Chris Gutierrez is, and he's better at closing distance than Chris Gutierrez is. And if he keeps closing distance, what good are those leg kicks, right? Like they might be just stymied. Um, he's going to have to use the leg kicks, Gutierrez, to keep the wrestling down. But man, when this fight was rebooked, now this is the rebooking of the original fight. Castaneda was a minus 140 favorite, minus 150 favorite. Now he's the underdog. I don't really much. I picked Castaneda then. I don't see much that changes. I think he can mix the wrestling in. I think he's got a little bit better hands, and he can match volume with Chris Gutierrez. You don't even have to match volume. Look at that Pedro Munoz fight. Munoz got outstruck by Gutierrez, but aesthetically, people see just leg kicks, and it's just not enough sometimes. If this fight's not in Vegas, right? So Vegas is so good for just they love power punches. They give the power punches always like get the nod and all that shit. But I still think Castaneda can match volume. I still think he takes him down a couple times, and I like the plus money. So John Castaneda, baby.
All right. Next fight of the night, we've got Matt Schnell, 16-9 versus Jimmy Flick, 17-8. I'm shocked that Jimmy Flick is still in the UFC. I mean, even Matt Schnell to a certain degree. I mean, he's been on some just brutal losses. But you know what? Matt Schnell's at least he's a fun guy. I mean, he's a very offensive fighter. He's got great hands, like great hands. He just unfortunately doesn't have the chin to go with them. So he's a fun fighter. I kind of almost always enjoy his fights actually, and I think he's going to knock Jimmy Flick out. Obviously, Jimmy Flick, he's always going to have, I guess, a 1% chance of either pulling guard or doing a fucking jumping armbar or some shit like that, like something stupid. But I mean, it just shouldn't work here. Matt Schnell should fucking drop him early and often and finish the fight. And I think this is the last time you will see Jimmy Flick in the UFC. So give me Matt Schnell inside the distance, probably under 1.5, probably. But either way, the pick is Matt Schnell. What do you think?
Has Jimmy Flick ever knocked anybody out in the UFC?
No, no, Jimmy Flick. If you're playing Jimmy Flick, it's submission.
Yeah, I mean, but Matt Schnell's pretty good on the ground too, so I don't see
Yeah,
him
yeah.
getting fucking submitted either, right? Anyways, Matt Schnell's the more well-rounded guy here. Out of the two of them, he's got better durability. I can't even say it with a fucking straight face. He's got better durability out of the two of those guys. I don't think this fight does not. I think this fight finishes for sure. I mean, the kicker is what was it? That Jimmy Flick fight that he won against Malcolm Gordon, right? So he won that fight against Malcolm Gordon. Malcolm Gordon's known to be finished, but Malcolm Gordon was piecing him up on the feet, right? And I feel like that, and that's the bread butter of Schnell can just piece him up on the feet. I mean, if Suma Darji is Suma Darji, and Jimmy Flick is Jimmy Flick, and if he goes after him sort of in that sort of like crazy fight, which I think is going to happen anyways. I think that's the way this fight's going to go, right? So, anyway, I think Matt Schnell's got this guy beat on the feet, and he'd be a fool to take him down. But, Schnell doesn't care about the ground game either, so. And then Jimmy Flick's not that great when he's the guy being owned on top, so he's not going to pull a triangle or an armbar from guard on Matt Schnell if he wants to take him down. So I don't see that happening. I just see the knockout, though. But yeah, the durability.
I think it'll be a fun one while it lasts.
Matt Schnell's got better durability than one person in the UFC.
All right, guys, moving on to the main card. If you haven't already, please like, please subscribe. We do appreciate it. First fight of the main card, we got Ikram Aliskerov, 15-2 versus Andre Muniz, 24-6. Aliskerov, I believe, maybe I should click on it here. Was his last fight him getting knocked out by Robert Whitaker?
Yeah.
Okay. So that fight, obviously, he looked horrendous. But aside from that, he's been pretty good. He does have good grappling chops. So, I mean, Andre Muniz, obviously, his path to victory is taking you down and submitting you. Um, Not sure he's going to be able to take Ikram down, and I'm not sure he would be able to submit him from the bottom. So I think Ikram takes Andre down and probably ground and pounds him. Um, what are the odds here?
Minus 600 on Ikram.
Wow. I would. Okay, first of all, there's not a chance in hell I'd be betting Ikram Aliskerov at minus 600, a 0% chance of that. If anything, at those odds, I'd be betting Andre Muniz. That being said, the pick is Ikram, but that's insane. I didn't know that. I 100% will not be betting that. Uh, I'll take Ikram, but that's insane to me. What do you think?
Ikram's gotten beat all over the place. I don't think Muniz won that last split decision against Jung Young Park by taking him down 11 times, and he still was a split. Like that's how much shit it looked like when you actually fight. If you rewatch that fight, like that's how shit it looked. Like he 11 takedowns, 11, and he still got a split decision. So that just shows you what he's doing with those takedowns. You know what I mean? So he's not going to submit Ikram. Uh, Honestly, I don't see us hitting the ground. I think Muniz gets knocked out standing. That's what I think. Ikram's got the better hands. Muniz is shown to be slow prodding, and he falls for this trap when like the other guy has equal BJJ or equal grappling to him. Those are the guys that really can do well against him. So like the Brendan Allens, the Paul Craigs. He did well there because you know what? Those guys can grapple with him. And I think Ikram has solid wrestling and he can grapple with him, but Ikram has better hands and won't grapple with him. So Ikram by knockout.
All right. Next fight of the main card, we got Randy Brown at 19-6 taking on Nicholas Dalby 23-5-1. Fun matchup. I think it's going to be a pretty good fight. Randy Brown is definitely the more dangerous guy. I mean, he's absolutely monstrous for the weight class. He's very fast. He uses that height and length to get a lot of leverage on his shots. Like he can really put a lot of snap behind his shots. Like he's the more dangerous guy. He can knock you out. Um, just a quick, strong athlete, whatever. So I think everybody's going to be on him for that reason. But I kind of am a Nicholas Dalby guy, and I kind of want to pick him here. I think Randy Brown's always going to have that questionable chin. I'm not saying it's a terrible chin. I'm not going to say that, but like he can be cracked. And Nicholas Dalby, from what I've seen or from what all of my recollections, is he's always there to fight. He's always going to fight for your money. I don't really I can't recall him ever being like dropped by one shot and being put out. So like while I'm sure there will probably be some dicey moments for sure, especially early, um, if he can survive them and eventually get to Randy, I mean, I think he only needs to find Randy once or twice before he can completely turn the fight over and potentially finish it. Um, I don't know. Call me crazy because I know at the same time Nicholas Dalby's old as hell. So it's like at some point he's going to show his age and his durability will be gone. So the common sense pick is Randy Brown, but fuck it, I'm still going to take Nicholas Dalby. I just think he's more durable. He fights for my money, whatever. I don't know. Randy Brown fights too. I don't want to talk smack on Randy Brown or whatever, but I'm always gonna have doubts about Randy's chin. Now the problem is Nicholas isn't exactly a one hitter quitter, so that doesn't exactly give me confidence. But whatever, I'm gonna go against the odds here. I'm gonna say Nicholas Dalby. Fuck it, he's the pick. Don't know if I'm gonna be, but I don't even know what's the odds here.
It's minus 250 for Randy Brown. Minus 225. I mean, odds are fair.
Yeah, no, those odds sound about right. If they grow wider, which is possible, I might stab a single on Dalby. He's absolutely not a parlay piece. He's absolutely not me telling you to tail him or anything like that. I think it's just me maybe kind of liking the old dog. I don't know. I seem to root for the old guys in a lot of fights. I'm going to take Nicholas Dalby. Probably a stupid pick. What do you think?
The 40-year-old Nicholas Dalby. You know how much I love Rude Boy Randy Brown. Yeah, you know how much I love that guy. Yo, honestly, I rewatched the Brian Battle fight. He should have won the Brian Battle fight. He outstruck him, and he took him down twice, and he was controlling the fucking cage. So whatever. And the fights that he lost lately was Luke knocked him out and Madalena knocked him out. Both have really good hands, and I don't see that from Dalby. Um, I mean, he could try to take him down a little bit, but Rude Boy's been taken down before too, right? And he always pops back up. Who was it? He won that 4 times by Dos Santos, but popped back up and now struck him 3-1, right? So I feel like this is just going to be a striking match, and Randy will hit the more telling shots. He's got the better range. I think he's the better striker. Nicholas is durable as hell. So you said the other fight's going to go to decision. I don't think. I think this fight's going to go to decision as well. I think Randy Brown outstrikes them, and I think it's going to be a striking match. I think he has a comparable ground game. Randy Brown does have some grappling chops that people remember the one-armed fucking choke that he did earlier on in his career. So, and he's got long limbs, and I always thought he could throw a little bit more volume. That's my only thing with Randy Brown. I think he could throw a bit more volume because, yo, his punches are good. He has good technique. He keeps good range. But he also doesn't have the power, one hit quit power, like you said, the good Dalby doesn't have as well. So I'm gonna take Randy Brown. I think he's the better fighter here. He's the younger fighter here. He's the faster fighter here. But I'm gonna take Randy Brown by decision.
All right. Next fight of the night, we have got Michel Pereira versus Abus Magomedov. I mean, I got to be on Pereira here. I think Abus Magomedov has just looked horrendous in his UFC run, to be honest. I mean, his cardio is questionable. I mean, I don't know if I don't want to say his heart's questionable, but like I just like every single fight, like I'm just waiting. I've given him chance after chance after chance, and it just seems like every single time like he just shows something that I don't like, and I don't know. I mean, when it's a fight where he should have the the striking edge. He's showing that he's like scared to strike and wants to grapple. And I don't know. I question his durability. I question his cardio. I question just so much question marks around Abus Magomedov for me. I don't think he's who we all thought he would be. And although Michel will probably never reach where we thought he would get, like I mean, at one like I think just a fight or two ago, we were thinking this guy is going to be a real contender. He might not reach quite that status, but I still think he's enough to handle Abus. I think he's just he's more explosive. He's the better finisher. Um, when have we seen Michel really get grapple fucked? We haven't. So I think he's going to hurt Abus early and possibly even get him out of there, to be honest. I'm going to take Michel Periera. Um, yeah, I'm going to take Michel. What do you think?
He got grapple fucked in his last fight against Anthony Hernandez.
Oh, fuck. Well, Fluffy's done that to everybody,
But
right?
that, no, yo, those two guys, Hernandez and A Booster, are on two different levels here. We're talking about two different type of cardios, two different type of engines, and two
Yeah.
different type of
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
right?
Abus can't keep that pace.
No, zero chance. But Abus has been using the wrestling lately, and against Bruno Ferreira, he took him down 4 times because when standing with him, he didn't look like he looked a little bit behind, right? So that was the problem there. And against Warley Alves, he took him down 6 times, and people have been finishing Warley Alves, and this guy just took him down and rode him out for how many rounds was that? So yeah, I didn't like those performances, and all the while not even throwing fucking 30 significant strikes in the whole match, aside from this Hernandez fight. Take away. So Pereira's takedown defense is still sitting at 76%, and he got taken out 10 times in that Periera fight. So that shows you that he still had a pretty fucking good takedown defense before that fight, right? Hernandez on another level. I throw that one away. That was a bad performance by Michel. Um, Abus cannot keep a pace. Michel, all he has to do is survive, I think, round one with whatever pace. I think he hits harder. I think he's faster. He's just had to be smarter. Um, the longer this goes, it favors Michelle. And yeah, his cardio used to be suspect. It's actually a little bit better now. And yeah, Abus, yeah, he slows down. Those fights he's winning by decision against those two guys, he was slowing down and he was actually banking on the wrestling and holding them down because Ferreira's a fucking turtle on his back. And Warley Alves is the same thing, right? So. Yeah, I can't bet on a guy like that. And just 2 fights. I'm gonna play the last fight against Hernandez. 'Cause Hernandez is a fucking beast, right? And he's gonna challenge for a title one day. And that was just a title sort of eliminator, and Michelle lost. So whatever. Michelle's the more well-rounded fighter, better power. Let's go.
All right. Next fight of the night, we got Giga Chikadze, 15-4, taking on David Onama, 13-2. I mean, I think everybody can agree the smart pick is probably David Onama, strictly because, I mean, he's been active and he's the more well-rounded fighter. He's the more ways to win. And I still find myself not wanting to pick him. uh, Obviously, he's been dropped before, but that being said, he fought through it and he still won that fight. Uh, Now, Giga Chikadze, very good kicker. Doesn't punch enough for my liking. And I don't know if he's going to be able to win a fight with just kicks here. On top of that, he's just not active at all. So, I mean, it's hard to bet on a guy with just so many question marks around him. And believe me, I want to pick Giga because I'm waiting to fade David Onama. But just everything in this fight leans toward David Onama's advantage. If he wants to get the grappling going, he should have that advantage. I think even his hands, like I know Giga's like the big kickboxer or whatever, but like I said, I think he's more of a kicker than a puncher. Um, and just activity, pace, everything. I think every little thing favors David Onama, and I still want to fade the guy. What are the odds here?
Minus 175 for Onama,
I
plus
mean, that
160.
sounds right. Those odds sound right.
Yeah.
Um, when I was just scrolling over the card, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna pick Giga for a different pick so that we don't have like I hate picking so many favorites. So like it's tempting me to just pick Giga, but again, he just hasn't been active at all. He's not the more well-rounded fighter. Uh, fuck it. I'm taking Giga. I said I don't want to pick all the favorites. I know it's a dumb pick or whatever. Fuck it. I'm
Yeah.
taking Giga Chikadze. What do you think?
Onama showed a little comeback ability in that fight against Romero, though. Like he got, like you said, he got dropped, and then he ended up showing some of the best volume I've seen in his tenure here at the UFC, 220 strikes in that when pushed. So you know he has it in him. He's the better boxer here. He might not be the better kicker here, but he's better boxer here, and he's got the better. I feel, yeah, Giga can give him the Giga kick, whatever. Onama's got the more power in his hands, and he's got the better power in his hands. He should be the faster puncher here. He's just got to watch out for the kicks. He's got to close distance. He's also the better grappler here. He's also the better wrestler here. I don't think he will probably have to use it, but if the kicks are landing and he's feeling a little bit weary, he has something to fall back on. If Giga's kicks aren't working for him, what does he fall back on? And my other big problem with Giga is he throws about 50 to 60 strikes, significant strikes when he's winning fights. That's just not enough for me. That's just not enough for me. You got to throw a little bit more than that, man. You got to put a pace on. Onama's a guy that like Nate Landwehr when he fought him. You got to put a pace on this guy. You got to break this guy. Romero couldn't break this guy, and that's why Romero ended up losing that fight against Onama. You got to break David Onama. Jiga does not come across as a guy that can put enough on a guy to break him. So I'm going with Onama because I don't think Giga can break him. So David Onama for me.
All right, and that brings us to our co-main event, and that is Anthony Smith, who I thought retired, but this will be his last fight. 37 and 21, taking on Ming Yang Zhang, 18 and 6, who is currently riding an 11-fight round one finish streak. That is fucking crazy. And I think it kind of continues here, to be honest. I mean, Anthony Smith's only hope to win this fight is to get a takedown very early and submit Ming Yang Zhang. Anthony Smith is not some amazing wrestler. I don't know a whole lot about Ming Yang Zhang's takedown defense or grappling, but I know that, history suggests he hits hard. Anthony Smith doesn't have the durability or the dog in him anymore. It just seems like Anthony Smith's going to get KO'd here, and this will be the last you see of him. Uh, Give me Ming Yang Zhang by knockout. What are the odds? Just out of curiosity.
You're not betting it. It's minus 550.
Will the knockout get you to plus?
I know it's not dropped yet. So
Maybe under 1.5 or whatever. I mean, he's a quick finisher or whatever. Maybe if the Anthony Smith subline comes in at like plus 2,000, it could be worth a single stab. But as far as just picks, I'm going to say Ming Yang Zhang knocks out Anthony Smith. What do you think?
I've been known to pick big underdogs, but I couldn't find my way to Anthony Smith here. I just like he could definitely sub this guy, but he could definitely he's just been a punching bag for the last 3 or 4 fights. And even that one where he who did he do? It's Vitor Petrino. He fucking fraud checked Vitor Petrino. Okay, give me that. I'll give him that one. But like whatever. It is what it is, man. Like I can't pick him here. I'm gonna pick Ming Yang Zhang. I'm probably gonna get a shitty line as KO, so whatever. I'm picking Ming Yang Zhang because I think he just knocks him around like a punching bag. There's no like legit breakdown here. It's like skill versus skills for that. I don't think there is anything here. But the bet probably would be the Anthony Smith by sub if you get a line. But yeah, for me the pick's Ming Yang Zhang. Let's just go to the main.
Yeah, I'd say look at the Anthony Smith sub or the round one KO to possibly get you some plus money, but that's it.
Yeah.
Main event of the evening, we've got Ian Machado Garry, 15 and 1, taking on Carlos Prates, 21 and 6. Um, Interesting fight. There's arguments to be made for both. I mean, a lot of people are saying, hey, Prates hasn't fought this high up in the division. Ian Garry's kind of shown more layers to his fight game, I guess. I mean, he's all of a sudden showing grappling. I mean, he almost submitted Rachmanov. I mean, I don't know how close it really was or whatever, but I mean, it's still like he's showing that he's not just a kickboxer. He has been grappling. I mean, he grappled his way to victory against MVP. So a lot of people are actually on the Garry side, and they think that he's going to kind of expose Carlos Prates. And I mean, it's possible, but I'm kind of on the other side. I'm kind of more of Ian Gary's never really impressed me. Even in his wins, he has never impressed me. I've never thought he was that great at striking. Like his fight with Jeff Neal pissed me off. Now, Jeff Neal's a good fighter, so I'm not going to take that away from him. Jeff Neal's a very good fighter. But like there's just been so many Ian Gary fights where I was just left like, ah, he's not that good. Waiting to fade him, not that great. Now, I mean, obviously he's good at winning fights. He's 15-1, but I can't get behind this narrative that he's just so much more well-rounded and so much higher up in the division that there's levels to this. I can't get behind that. If Carlos Prates shows that he has terrible takedown defense and that's how Ian Gary beats him, then I guess it will be an exposing of Carlos Prates. But I'm going to say on the feet, Ian Gary's point fighting from range isn't going to work, is what I'm going to say. And with him edging out a lot of these 3-round fights, this being a 5-round, I think Carlos cracks him at some point. He's got that touch of death. I know there's been a fight or two of Carlos's where he didn't look the greatest, but again, you have to be perfect against him the whole fight because the second that he landed, it was fight over. I'm taking Carlos Prates. I was hoping that Gary would be a favorite. It looks like it's flipped and Prates is the favorite right now. Either
No, no,
way,
no, no. Gary gained. He's minus 138, and Prates has got it's gone up to plus 110.
okay. Well, I'm going to be on Carlos Prates. What do you think?
Well, I don't think Ian Gary's going to be able to wrestle fuck Carlos Prates in this spot. If you look at his UFC tenure, he's been pretty good at staying off the ground. He's got a 91% takedown defense. Mitch Ramirez got him down a little bit. If you look at some of his regional tape, doesn't really get taken down too much. So I think this is going to be a kickboxing match. I think Ian Gary does edge out in the volume here. I do think he might because what was that fight? It was I know the one you were talking about. It was against Trevin Giles where Prates was being outstruck 68 to 37 at the point where he actually knocked out Giles. So he wasn't showing the volume, but was he just playing with his food, right? So like I don't know. He could be playing with his food, right? So every other fight he's looked pretty good. If you look at that Li Jingliang fight, like he was on the gas pedal the whole time. If you look at what he did to Neil Magny, it was a lot better than what Ian Machado Gary did to Neil Magny. I'll tell you that much. And I'm not using MMA math here, but if anyone thinks that Machado Gary is going to knock out Carlos Prates, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if you think he's going to wrestle fuck him. I don't. He might get him down, but he's good. Prates is going to get back up. Prates has shown that he could stalk. Remember Machado got knocked down by Song Kanan, and he did show a lot of comeback ability in that fight. He did, and he did put up a good amount of volume in that fight as well. But like you said, he hasn't really impressed me. He's been scaving by the skin of his teeth in all of these fights. And I'm going to take a shot on Carlos Prates too because I loved him and fighting nerds and the Jean Silva effect. And, those two seem to be like the two guys, though. I know what
Oh,
Kai
yeah.
Barralos, those three, like, they're like the three guys. Like,
Well, even that roofie guy, the spinning backhand kick.
Ruby's shown a little bit more chinks in the armor than these three bad boys, though. John Silva shown no chinks in the armor.
Wait, that guy might be a future champ. Like, I don't know
Kai,
who the hell's going to beat that guy.
Cabral has shown no chinks in the armor. He's just getting better. And this guy's shown no chinks in the armor yet. Maybe a little bit of lack of volume, but I'm taking him. I'm taking him to beat Machado. I'm going to take him to fucking knock this guy out. Let's go.
Hey, that'll be so good for him. Like, you know how many fans this guy would get if he knocked out Ian Gary? Hey, that's how he wins, man. So very possible. Very, very possible. All right, guys, there you have it. Sorry for the late drop. I had a very bad throat infection the last few days, so I know we're getting this out kind of late. We will try and get a props episode out in the next day or two as well.